Welcome back YouTube, it's my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with Asperger's syndrome and the like, along with tips and advice along the way, be it your general health of mental health as well as some maybe topics that I am passionate about for advocating for autistics and the like. So as I said before in one of my food for thought videos, that I was going to bring out to you guys some of my thoughts on a sensitive topic here that's happening in New Zealand and may come to life or not, regardless if we speak out and whatnot. I'll be sharing my piece hopefully later on, which maybe is sometime this week, so bear with me with my research and everything else. Just as a trigger warning for some of these videos that are coming up now, if you're watching, some of this may offend some people, or maybe not, but just bear in mind to be careful what you say around the ones that are, sensitive over these topics. So I thought to bring this out, especially this one, because I feel at this point of time it needs to be addressed, because as I said, I'm passionate about some of these things. And just as a bare note, I'm no medical doctor, I'm just your normal everyday Joe blog. So if you see anything out of the ordinary of the warnings and symptoms that relates to one of the health topics that I shared in the past or present, seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, or seek professional second opinion for yourself or your loved one, because I don't forever condone self-harm. So this one obviously is like based in America of some things. I've been following some things around the world, but here while I'm from New Zealand obviously, and this one is no brainer. And this one's about the MeToo movement, and people tend to question, has it gone too far, what can be done about it and whatnot. So I'm here today hopefully to share my opinions, so please respect my opinions when I'm sharing this, because this is just based on my opinions, research and knowledge of what I can recall, obviously, for you guys, because at the end of the day, we're entitled for our opinions and are able to speak out, so please respect this as well. So let's begin this before I run track of time. So the very first question is, what is the MeToo movement? From what I can gather, this MeToo movement was obviously started in America. Like, it started as the movement of the hashtag MeToo as well, that went virally last year in 2017 of October as a hashtag that was used on social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, as well, of the most common ones, especially YouTube, because obviously, it's been talked about a lot there. This was helped to demonstrate the widespread prevalence of sexual assault, basically, and, harassment, especially in the workforce. In the origin, the movement was originally only given to women for a voice to speak out, because obviously as us women, sometimes we tend to feel weak, powerless and stuff. When certain bad things happen, we feel that we should be taking it, we should be basically, sitting there quietly, just not saying anything regardless of what's happening, be it, the classic examples I'm sharing with you today, the sexual harassment, sexual assaults, or what have you, because I believe that we need to have a voice, and we need to be stronger than that, and actually take that out of my mindset, as well as some other things that has been taught in us, just to, not speak out at the wrong times. Sometimes there is going to be a time that we need to speak out before something else happens, I reckon. Don't get me wrong though, however, yeah, okay, yes, men have been sexually assaulted too. I have heard about it, and watched it. Yet I shared a video based on us females basically being too emotional, so I'll link that in the description below, and if you want to find out more, you can click right here above me right now if you would like to see that video. To see more of what I'm sharing, because obviously it will tie into this somehow, of what I'm sharing. There are so many other hashtags that has been used before this one, however. People sharing their stories of sexual violence before the hashtag MeToo became ever so popular. So there was ones like hashtag you okay sis, hashtag what were you wearing, and so on and so forth, with some of the prominent examples that has been used. The purpose of it, the original purpose of this hashtag MeToo was created by Tarana Burke, who's a social activist and community organizer, that created this catchphrase on MySpace social network in 2006 as part of the grassroots campaign promotion to promote empowerment through empathy among women of colour who had experienced sexual abuse, especially with young and vulnerable women. Again, another video should be explaining this above me. Did I ask for this? If you want to see that one, click above me or click in the description below. I'll gladly share this with you guys. Awareness and empathy. In 2017, a poll by ABC News, however, has been created as well with the help of the Washington Post, found that 54% of American women reports on receiving, saying that this such behaviour usually goes unpunished. Other states, however, of the hashtag MeToo movement underscores the need for men to intervene with others with these undermining behaviours, which is socially important. So you may be wondering what my opinion is on all this, you know. I believe, yes and no, that it has gone a bit too far, even though I'm still on the fence line here, to be frank. As I said earlier about the origin and purpose for this movement, I'm not saying all men are cruel and nasty people, far from it. I'm learning now, after, you know, being abused mentally, physically and spiritually, that, you know, not all men are like that. There are some good ones. It's just a matter of finding them I guess. And I'm not saying as a female that this is well deserved for us females to be treated the way we should be treated, like this as a tool or what have you, form of entertainment or whatever else the reasoning behind this is. However, this is totally acceptable by all means, regardless what it may be. Okay, as I said before, you're entitled to share your thoughts, and I'm entitled to share my thoughts and opinions. So, you know, in the comments below, so you can feel free to share your opinion on this while I'm sharing this myself. But just basically, be careful how you say it and just respect each other's differences of opinion, because I know this is a controversial topic. Just bear in mind, though, that these are my, as I said, these are my only thoughts and opinions based on what I've read and what I've heard and watched on YouTube and some other social medias that has been shared. You know, you can choose to agree to disagree or agree to disagree. Either choice, again, is yours, obviously, as I said. But I believe there has been some sort of misunderstanding, miscommunication, misconception about all this. If everything the man does almost, you know, look like sexual harassment, assault, then the actual real men that are hiring women in a workforce might end up stopping hiring women altogether, because obviously, you know, in this day and age, you know, if we're saying something, we're just asking for it, we're seeking attention, we're, like I said in one of my videos, we're emotional and the like. But that will tie into what the reasoning to why, as I said before. Okay, sometimes with men that they ask them what they do want, obviously, and they tend to get the missed signals or just mixed message from a female sometimes when, you know, you're going out on a date or whatever it may be, when you see a female, you know, and females try to tell them what they want, you know, what they want and what it is and what they mean and stuff, and sometimes, again, that miscommunication, misunderstanding goes all the thing. I believe that sometimes there's a power struggle sometimes, because men want to be, you know, acting tough and all that, you know, whatnot, showing no feelings and emotions. It's okay to show feelings and emotions for males, I believe, because, you know, in this day and age of all these messages that is given by society, you know, men should not show feelings and emotions because it shows a sign of weakness, which we need to abolish that. That is forever wrong, I believe. But I want to say here, though, yeah, we females are also to blame here. Also, I'll add this along with society to how we are dressed, how we think, act, and whatnot, you know, and what we say and do at times that draws that wrong attention. As I believe males ain't good at looking, you know, or reading some body language or, you know, visual cues or messages sometimes, you know, as I said, you know. So both of us females have the means of needs to communicate more, I believe, you know. Yet men and women needs to respect each other also, no matter what the circumstances here, you know. We all have everyday choices, yes, we do. Well, we have the right to feel what we feel. No one can actually tell us what to feel, you know, when to feel it and whatnot. You know, we are not like, robots. Obviously, we just, you know, choose to just either A, to do it or not, you know. It's up to how it is. How I got to it in this day of age of retrospect is, you know, get to know the guy or whoever first, maybe when you're, you know, build up a relationship based on trust, friendship, and all that before all this is happening, respect. And if you feel that there is a connection, you can continue on to the next stage, which is the dating versus courting, versus basically in this, you know, maybe get to know them, call a few times here and there, texting, whatever, maybe a few gifts here and there, compliments, you know, enjoying each other's company, respecting each other's, you know, values and morals if there's any, you know, making sure there are some boundary lines in the relationship, you know, as again, if it feels right and, you know, you've been together for a certain amount of, you know, months, years, whatever, you can commit to one another by basically getting married, and then maybe after marriage have that sex. Well, that's how I got taught anyway. Yet nowadays, this is not always the case. You have a quick fix of obviously and asking someone out, and you're waiting for a yes or no. You know, sometimes alcohol goes in hand sometimes as well. You know, sometimes when you're meeting certain people, you know, boys or girls, whatever, you know, gender or sexual encountership, you know, sometimes it leads to just hookups, and then with these hookups leads up to these mistakes of basically of the one night stands, of the first kiss and that, and then in saying this, you know, you feel pregnant obviously, and you felt like you did a mistake by just having that one hookup, and you didn't want a kid on the way as well, finding that out later as well. Men too, as I said, tend to misread signals. We need to restrict bad activity sometime, however, to a new and better activity. That's how I feel. There are various levels of consent, I believe, and I do agree, which is why committed relationships should come in hand. But as I said before, not many people want to stay committed in a relationship. It's just one relationship to another, so they jump from one relationship. They get too bored, they get too tired, they just think when things go wrong, obviously they don't want to work it out, you know, because they think, you know, they tend to blame the other person when things don't get their way. So it's obviously, you know, a one-sided thing that you just have to do. Someone has to do it just to please you, just to do what you want, and vice versa, you know. Being in a committed relationship, obviously these days, you know, does take a lot of work, I believe. But if you're at peace with that person and you're in the right relationship, anything is possible. You can work it out, I believe. You know, as I said before, the reasoning behind, maybe another reason for just not staying in a committed relationship, the fear of rejection, the fear of maybe being alone, or just the fear of just having someone there and actually have no respect for one another, or what have you. Also, it's just hard work just getting to know someone, because obviously, you know, it takes a lot of years to build up a relationship based on trust and friendship and getting to know that person, I believe, you know. And you'll know the different levels of consent when you're in a committed relationship, however, as well. If in a committed relationship, you'll be able to respect each other, as I said, and have boundaries, etc. No should be used now and again when you feel uncomfortable, basically, if you don't want to, you know, have sex and whatnot, and hopefully that opposite person will respect that, obviously. And in a relationship, you should be able to. So don't forever be, you know, do stuff that you're uncomfortable. Take responsibility for your own actions, however, of what goes down. You know, be able to, you know, admit that you are wrong regardless. Some guys can be forceful in some situations as well. I'm not as well on girls and vice versa. Girls putting ourselves in an everyday situation, you know. Sometimes where sex is off the table, but then there's no change, however. Change their minds just too embarrassed or too terrified to say no, and just do it, just to, you know, classify it as sexual violation as a question. When does this change in sex and content of sexual consent happening to women? Yet does with men sometimes too, are blurred lines. You know, we need to learn boundaries. We need to learn to respect. You know, we need to separate the term of, you know, rape, sexual assaults, you know, and the agreements up to the fact of what to stop saying no now and again and speaking out is important, I believe. Abuse of power by men, obviously. The share of shame and guilt. Boys speaking out, or boys not to rape and girls to not dress too much, to draw that much attention maybe, to stop this. Starts from as a kid what you've been taught, obviously. Not allowed, as I said, to cry for men basically, and females to soft empathy on one another. We need it even the playing fields, I believe. You know, men not to the point to be looked as being too powerful, however, for us females when we want to speak out our opinions and whatnot. Not to tell others how you feel and respect each other is basically needs to be start right now. This is happening so much right now that people are silenced, males and females, regardless, because of, you know, may not want to cause the same. But in your past life, maybe it's worth looking back at it, you know, obviously, to cause a scene. Obviously, you can. Listening and becoming aware of our own actions and behaviours. Not to let ourselves be, you know, walked all over. Be able to know the rights from wrongs. Be able to speak out. Many of us females brought up to not hurt each other's feelings, regardless, you know, just respect each other, you know. As I said before, I'm one of them, obviously, you know, speak when it's the right time to speak and whatnot, you know. But I believe, you know, this is part of the problem. We need to find the root of the problem, why it's causing. Starts with males, and it also starts with females trashing ourselves, you know, the way we're dressed. Third world feminism, obviously, for the females, obviously, how, you know, how it is. Sacrifice to getting out of the comfort zone. Respect the guys should show respect by sticking up for themselves or the guys around them and actually say, hey, stop this is not good, or whatever. To stop, you know, taunting us or talk about females behind the back, behind closed locker doors, or whatever they do, joke about females and that, you know, to keep the even score or whatever they do. Learning to say no, defining the lines of rape and domestic abuse. Not everyone has the privilege to talk about, you know, everyday things, but we need to protect ourselves. Growth and learning from each other. Better communication, acknowledging our feelings, how we feel to one another. Talk about the problems, obviously, is important, you know. So is communication. But when it comes down to communication, if we're talking to someone, you know, is it worth pursuing someone that's not bothered to communicate their feelings and not being able to just dig deep about this? Because I believe, you know, communication is key. Supporting one another, you know, we need to challenge our own belief system if we've got certain beliefs. Sometimes some places are dangerous though, so we need to act somehow now. We need to have a system of change, system to be a certain system to be put in place. Begins now to speak out, as I said, help to be the change. Acknowledge your right. Education is important, you know, educating one another. Equality is also important. Exposure to social media has bring out some positives and negatives. And this positivity obviously is for us to stand up for what we believe in and being able to, you know, have the power of speaking our mind and whatnot. Damn respect to us females that we are stronger than men in some cases, basically, regardless. Forgiving one another and being able to be great to one another as well as polite to one another and have compassion to each other regardless. And hopefully in saying this, that just by forgiving one another we can move on to whatever's, you know, thing, and not to dread about the past too much. And obviously in saying this, that people can just be able to speak out. So this quickly ends a video based on the hashtag MeToo movement of Aspie Let's Talk series. Smash the like button, comment below, as I said, to open the discussion of the floorboard. Feel free to share these videos around because I feel that at this point of time people need to hear this, obviously, of these important topics I'm about to share. So feel free to follow me on my social media networks. Feel free, if you haven't done so, to turn on the notification bell as well as subscribing if you want to join me on the bandwagon to know what I get up to and whatnot. So no further ado, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.